Now let's really start the show with certain topics that I wanted to get into. And shout out to all my stoners out there, my potheads, my weed smokers. I'll never forget the first time I've tried weed. I was like 14, 13 years old, and I was a huge fan of that 70s show, Bastion. And I realized when I kept watching that show was the fact that when Foreman was in his basement and he was with his friends and they were all in this cipher and in this circle, and there was this all this heavy smoke in the background or light smoke in the background, they were getting high. And I thought, hey, you know what would be fun? Getting high with your friends. So I went over to one of my friends' house who lived right around the corner from me, who conveniently had a basement and conveniently they smoked. And one day, I just felt like, I had time. And, that was my first time smoking weed. And I'm not gonna lie, this isn't a Sesame Street special. We're not on PBS Kids. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was fun. But I was around people that love me. I was around people that were willing to help me if I had a bad trip or something. So with that, rejoice to all my potheads and stoners. Governor Cuomo signed the legislative bill. Marijuana is now legal. Recreational marijuana usage is now legal here in New York and New York City. Stand up. Bastion, your take. How do you feel about this? I know you're not a stoner, but
Yes,
as
everybody.
someone who goes to school around, who used to go to school around Jamaica Ave, you're very versatile on pot dealers and pot heads. So
Yeah, full
allegedly,
disclosure, I do not smoke weed, right?
that's okay.
But I know a lot of people that do.
Right.
So I do have an understanding of how like it helps people, especially if they have anxiety or if they just need to chill. Some people use it to go to sleep. Some people just want to use it to have a good time. That being said, this is long overdue. And
Mm,
it's not even, I'm not even focused on the people that use it for recreational reasons. It's more the people that are in prison for having a very like small amount, like less than three
yes,
ounces or so, and they're in jail for a couple of months because our court system is so packed up. Um,
exactly.
so I'm
And racially biased too.
super racially biased because you know the percentage. It's a very high percentage. All races smoke weed between white and black, but black people,
Especially white people. All
the
right.
people of color will most likely get arrested for it and will do time for it compared to
Because
their
we're
white
poor.
counterpart. And that's
Yeah.
just the way the system is. So looking at this, and I don't want to jump to it. I want you to lead the whole thing, but I'm
Sure.
kind of happy that this is the start of it, and I think it will expand. I hope it expands quickly over time. But the first rules and the first thing is they got to set up, just to get everything, just to get the ball rolling. I think it's a
Mhm.
good start.
Well, it's interesting that you brought up the rules, Bastion, because I have some of the rules jotted down. So listen up to all my potheads out there, all right? This affects you, people in the New York area, the New York State area, and the New York City area as well. So individuals are allowed to possess up to 3 ounces of marijuana for recreational purposes, or 24 grams of the concentrated form of weed, such as oils, pens, vapes, etc. Right? New Yorkers, you are permitted to smoke weed in public wherever smoking cigarettes are allowed. However, smoking weed is not permitted in schools, obviously, workplaces, or inside your car, which is practically the same as it's the same laws as smoking cigarettes. You can't smoke cigarettes in your car anymore, too. I just realized that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you can't smoke in your
It
car
it
anymore.
has to
That's
be like
illegal.
open window, right?
Yeah,
Mm. Well, first of all, you're crazy if you smoke with the windows closed. You're just an
hotboxing.
animal. No, no, no. Smoking cigarettes.
Oh, dude, I remember one time I was in Long Island and I was in this cab or whatever, and this dude was a heavy smoker and he never opened up his windows because it just reeked of cigarettes, chest burning and everything.
Oh yeah,
It was horrible.
yeah.
I would have wished I had a mask on for that.
It would
Jeez.
have helped. It would have kept the smoke. You would have kept the cigarette smoke in your lungs.
Probably. Yeah, you're right.
Secondhand smoke kills kids.
It does kill. But also in the city, this is now for the city. Pay attention. Smoking is banned in parks, in benches, boardwalks, pedestrian plazas, and playgrounds, which
In the
I'm
club
going to be,
too.
and in the club. Generally, smoking is permitted on the sidewalks. And I'm going to tell you why I hate this one. I hate this one. It's because the best places to get high is in parks, on benches, and on the boardwalks and pedestrian plazas. I won't do playgrounds because that's where the kids be. But those four spots, that's the best prime spot to get high, especially if you got the water in front of you, you got your scenery. I like to listen to Wiz Khalifa in the background or some Tupac. You know, it's a whole little ritual I have if I'm exchanging some medicinals with friends.
You don't think that if they allowed park smoking, that it may get out of hand?
Oh, dude, it's already getting out of hand now.
That's what I mean. So, like, you gotta set the rules and boundaries. Like, hey, this is New York City. There's not a lot of parks. You gotta keep the parks clean. You know, da da da. Corner. You know, some corner, not here. You know, you can chill here. Post smoke, right? Post everything.
Post smoke.
But you know,
I know.
I'm definitely open for everybody. Like, you can smoke anywhere and everywhere, but yeah, baby steps.
People are already smoking everywhere. I've been walking down Atlantic Avenue this evening, bruh. It just smelled.
Yeah, because I think it will be out of hand for maybe the first year, and to
Yeah,
define out of hand, people would just test the boundaries.
Yeah,
Like, we're discussing rules. Some people are not going to read the newspaper. They're going to hear that you can and be out.
And that's why we're doing this right now, because like intern Mike told us, the hood listens to us. I don't know why hood, but thank you very much for listening to us. So yeah, I felt like I needed to tell you this because I don't want to see y'all get petty tickets or anything like that, or anything that can lead into something more aggressive with police.
And getting fines.
Hell yeah. Not even getting fines, it's just, it can lead to a fine, but then, if someone gets angry, a cop can just have a bad day. And, I just I don't want violence amongst my people. So, I'm just warning people right now. Here's some of the rules. Oh, another rule right now. So technically, this stuff is going to, well, no, it's legal to smoke weed right now, but it's not legal to purchase weed yet because we need to take a year to get all the licenses and stuff in play and all that jazz. So 2022, it'll be officially legal to purchase weed.
From where?
Oh, of course, from dispensaries, legal dispensaries. But also, here's a big thing that's happening here in New York. And this is why I wanted to talk about the stuff that was going on in New Jersey as well, because one, we have listeners in New Jersey. Thank you for listening to us. Everyone that's listening to us in Newark, tri-state area, Newark, New Jersey. Thank you. Hey, maybe one day we can do a live show in Newark. Goons, just protect us because it's Newark. I heard about y'all. All right. But anyways, so the big difference that is in Jersey, which is also a legal recreational place to get high, is the fact that over in New York, you have the ability to grow up to like 6 plants of your own homegrown weed. That's right, people. You can grow your own weed in New York, up to 6 plants. In Jersey, if they catch you growing your own weed, your ass could get up to 20 years in prison. And that is a bit controversial because over in New Jersey, their laws is the only way you can get high recreationally is if you go to their own New Jersey state approved licensed dispensary, in which I have a big problem with because I think it's kind of racist. That's just me. And the reason why I feel like it's kind of racist is due to, well, what they're going to do with the dispensaries, right? So basically what they're going to do with the dispensaries is the way that they price out each strain, right? They're going to tax it based on the amount of THC, right? So for example, if this strain has a high amount of THC, it's going to have more taxes. Therefore, the strain is going to be a lot more expensive, right? So,
Name a strain so we can have fun with this.
all right. So,
Like the Sleepy Joe. I
this,
remember that.
so all right. So, if the Moneybag Joe Sleepy Joe pack
Yeah.
has a high amount of THC, right? Like one of the highest amounts, let's say, I don't know, 50%, like that can cost up to 3 digits easily. Easily. It can
Hmm.
cost up to 3 digits. So, of course, you already know the financial advantages the dominant society has over us, the little people. So basically, that's why I feel like this is racist, because people at the bottom don't have enough money to go and
To
purchase
get the
these
high
legal things.
grade
Yeah,
stuff.
to get the high grade stuff.
Um, Another thing to kind of add on to what you said, especially from what I learned in like Colorado and how
Mhm.
hard it is to get a license.
Yes,
So I wonder if they're going to do the same thing, like just make it
absolutely.
difficult. I don't know if they're
It
gonna
is gonna be difficult.
I don't know if they're gonna do it like cab drivers. So if you want to
Mhm.
get a medallion, they limit it. As for
Right.
right now, the only way to get a medallion in New York City in order to do Uber or taxi is you have to buy what they consider electric cars. So if you're getting like a Honda Civic as a hybrid or a
Mhm.
Tesla or etc., that's the only way
I
you could
have
get it.
seen I have seen Tesla yellow cabs now. I
Yeah,
told you about that in the city. I
it's
saw one.
it's an investment now.
Mhm.
So it kind of works the same way for getting a license in order to open your store.
Hell yeah.
Because
Getting a license in a lot of stores, even the food industry, if you want to get a beer and wine license, it's a bit cheaper than getting an actual liquor license, because the liquor license is like 5 figures,
oh yeah.
tens of thousands of dollars.
But
It's
see,
not
the thing is, like, people could come up with the money. It's just
right.
would or can they get the
Exactly.
license?
Exactly.
Because I remember, I think this was like an old client I had, and it was
Mhm.
giving me this discussion about like how it's like so hard just to open up a shop because he has money, his friends has money, and he put it together, and they said no, so they found someone else that has even a better has like multiple houses and way better credit than all of them, and he still couldn't get a
Mhm.
license, and they were just confused. It's like in order to get a license, you need to know somebody to know somebody. It's like
Yeah.
nepotism, that's my favorite word because it's all in the family.
You're
You
gonna have to talk to
buddy buddy with the
former
mayor.
or you're gonna have to talk to former freaking majority Senator John Boehner to get a freaking license,
Yeah,
because he's in the pot business now. This Republican who was against a lot of stuff during the Obama presidency, he's in the marijuana business.
really. Uh,
Yeah, you didn't notice?
No, I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't look at marijuana at all. Even wheat
That's fair.
stocks. I'm like my boys talk about like the wheat stocks going up. It's like, dude,
Oh,
I
dude,
don't
100%.
care.
I know you're not a smoker, so I understand. But but I think you being in this industry, quote unquote, right? You just know a lot of people who smoke weed. And same with
Yeah.
me, being in service industry, hospitality, being a chef, being a barista and all that stuff. I'd say like 70% of all the workers definitely smoke. I don't think I'm being lenient on that. I think that's pretty accurate. A
They
lot of people smoke.
they do
A
more than
lot.
that. But there's
Well,
a there's another interesting law. I saw it's like if you're under the age of 21, smoking marijuana is still illegal, and you get
yeah.
like a $50 fine and a mandatory drug education.
Yeah, drugs are bad, kids.
It's a gateway drug. It leads to
Yeah.
other stuff. Next thing you know, you'll be doing K or something.
What Nancy Reagan say?
What did Nancy Reagan say? Oh, what drugs are
Just say
bad?
no.
Just say
Just
no.
say no.
Michael Jordan, just say no.
Stop. Get some help.
Get some
That was
help.
when he had a hairline.
Get some help. But that was a different era. Like the way
That was
he
a
he was
different
talking
era.
about his team was like crazy.
True. And that was during the crack epidemic too. But see, we're also in a different epidemic now. You don't think? I feel like with opioids, that's a huge issue.
Yeah, that's why I made the K joke with the ketamine, which is a horse tranquilizer, which is just
Yeah.
going up and up and up right now, which is insane, especially in
Yeah.
New York. But here's a question for you, the dealers
Please.
out there, right?
Oh,
What
yes.
do you think? I have my own theory on it.
Mhm.
Good or bad for the independent business?
Well, see, Bastion, I've been having this conversation a lot with friends. And the reason why I've been having conversation with friends is due to what we were talking about with the licensing and due to opening up a store because especially here in New York City, it's gonna be extremely difficult to to open up a
No,
legitimate.
no, no, not. I don't care about the legit. I'm talking about the not legit. I'm talking about those
Oh,
people.
oh, me personally, I like my weed illegal. I like to support black owned businesses. I like to support the little guy. So
But
I
do you
think
think it'll affect the numbers?
it depends on who they supply to. I think if they stay within certain parameters, if they stay within certain boundaries, I think they will be fine. I think there are going to be some people who, go to somewhere legit because, they want to get that California. I feel like that's going to happen. But also, me as a person, I know I like the thrill of illegal activities,
Oh my
if you know
god,
what I mean. So I like to go get my weed allegedly, people, allegedly from the little guy.
interesting. Here's my theory,
What is your theory?
and I think I probably told this to you before, but I remember meeting someone that owned a glasses shop, and I got the Persols on. Persols, Italian brand, expensive stuff.
I
Um,
got I got Italian brand too, man. I got Or Green.
yeah, I forget what's the main glasses company that owns all glasses.
There's a main company that owns all glasses.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you that in a second.
Okay.
Um,
They're in break.
yeah, during break. So this gentleman I met, he owns a glass store, and he recognized my glasses, and we were just talking about how much I love them and stuff. And said, yeah, it costs an arm and leg, but lasts for a very long time, so I'm not upset. I said, yeah,
Mhm.
it's great. So I asked him a quick question. It's like, Warby Parker, you ever been there? I said, yeah, it's a nice place. I said, yeah. So Warby Parker also sells glasses. You go in there, you try on the glasses, beautiful atmosphere, great sales team. The location is just beautiful, right? You go up, down, upstairs, downstairs, just beautiful, 10 out of 10. And I said, it's more affordable, it's stylish. Is it messing up your business? No, that's just a joke. And he
Mhm.
said he loves Warby Parker. I was like, what? I say it's great. Why? Because people will buy Warby Parker, because they'll be, let's say you're in fifth grade, you wear glasses. Now you're a grown adult. You don't want to, your parents' insurance doesn't cover your glasses anymore. You got to pay out of pocket.
Right.
So you go to Warby Parker, you enjoy it. Then after 6 months, you hate it. Now you're going to be running back to the glasses shop asking for the most expensive, something that can last much, much longer, and it's not as weak as the Warby Parker brand. And
Mm.
that was his explanation. He said he loves it. It's great for business because people now could compare low quality to high quality.
Mm.
So that's this thing. That's something that the dealers could think about because they can still have their quality, right?
Right.
Because the more affordable stuff could be garbage. And at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same thing, depending on where they're getting it.
Mhm.
So, that's the way I look at it. It's like,
That's
you
what I hear.
have the people that get the, recreational stuff and like, it's okay. Then, the boy down the street, he got something a little bit better, easier on the pocket. That's it.
I don't know, man. I think with these dispensaries now, it's gonna be sort of like a bar. You're gonna have like your low shelf, you're gonna have your mid tier, and then you're gonna have the high shelves. You know what I'm saying? So mid shelf, you're gonna have your Espolón tequila. Bottom shelf, you're gonna have like your Jose Cuervo, and then top shelf, you're gonna have your freaking top of the line. And I think that's gonna be the same for dispensaries.
I don't know. Because it's always hit or miss because
If
people will
there's
always say like, "Oh, we do the here's a good show, 2 Chainz show." The expensive thing, so
Oh, he still does that?
I don't know. But
I remember one time he drank like $1 million worth bottle of water because the water cap had like diamond crusted whatever.
yeah, I remember that. That was stupid. Everything has the sprinkle of gold in it.
Right.
But I remember watching a show. He went to dispensary in California, and they'll just put so much stuff on it, like marijuana, like blunt, and they'll put wax and they put gold leaves and all that type of stuff. But at the
Mhm.
end of the day, it's like it's all right. It's all right. You could do all this type of stuff on it, but at the end of the day, it's all about How you feel?
It's interesting that you mentioned Two Chainz, Bastion, because at the end of these episodes, Two Chainz says things, and I really commend him for, because Two Chainz is the guy who sort of has money to do these sort of things, and he has notoriety to be afforded to do that sort of stuff, and he's able to freaking ball out on luxury items like that, right?
Hmm.
But at the end of the episode, he always talks about, is it worth it doing this? And I remember particularly the water episode. He was like, bruh, that ish is not worth it at all. I like to stick to my smart waters, my Fijis, my Essentials. Don't ever go and get $1 million glass of water.
That
Don't do it.
that's just a flex.
That is just a flex. But see, I think what's cool about Two Chainz is he likes to flex a lot. His rhymes and his bars are about flexing and the
Yeah,
trap, right?
yeah.
So having a dude like Two Chainz come out and say, hey, some of the stuff, it's not even worth it. It's not that great at all. Just stick to like the regular stuff. I think that's very telling. And hey, that can be a thing in these dispensaries as well.
So the glasses company that pretty much owns a lot of glasses is Luxottica.
Luxottica.
They
Okay.
they own like pretty much most of the big majority brands of
Mhm.
glasses. So just in case you buy like fancy glasses, just know that it's bought by one company.
Wow. Okay.
They even own Ray brands and stuff.
So they're like the Coca-Cola of glasses.
Yeah,
Got it.
the Polo Ralph Lauren glasses, Ray Bans,
Oh,
most
okay.
Italian
All great.
glasses,
Huh.
Chanel, Coach, Dolce Gabbana,
Or green?
on Morning Exchange, Oakley. Is it
Or
Orgreen?
green? Yeah,
No,
or
no.
okay.
It even says Persol over here. Yeah, Versace. Yeah, Tiffany and Co. They own all those glasses, bro.
Okay. Well, I guess shout out to them. I don't know.
Yeah, but to hop back to the marijuana, it's gonna
Yeah,
be interesting. Um, here's a major problem.
sure.
What I was talking about with the people that are doing time, that
Mhm.
for people that were picked up for having drugs on them that are still in jail, or maybe they're selling something. The next step is to get them all out.
Right.
The way I see it, as someone that worked in immigration law, most things immigration is just crazy, and I worked during the President Obama era, so most cases could be 1 year to like 5 years, or like to even
Right.
10 years, depending on who you are. Especially if you're trying to get a green card to come into this country, it could be 20 years. So, how fast can you start getting people out of prison?
That's
And
a
I,
good question.
I always thought it's like, oh, they could just sign it, but like, no, a judge will have to hear the case, do all
Mhm.
the procedures, then sign it. How many could they do a day? How many judges
Right.
are available to do those things? So it's not like they could just like sign it out. Hey, if you were this, you get to walk out tomorrow. Like, no,
Right.
there's
That's not
always
how.
that's not how it works. Even though like a lot of people are getting arrested this year and last year, the
Mhm.
judges were like just so overwhelmed with work, like they just
Exactly.
quickly knock. All right, yeah, fine, go next, next.
Right. We're still in a panorama after all.
Exactly. And now with the whole thing with immigration, they're probably going to change like how the most of these judges are going around those cases. So I can imagine how they're going around with these cases, especially for the
Mhm.
people that are still in prison for petty stuff like 3 ounces of marijuana in their pocket.
Right. Possession, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it is said that those those people with those kind of charges, they are gonna get off, but it's like you said, we don't know when. There's not a good time duration of when that's actually gonna happen. So you make an absolutely great point. Also, I will say this, due to marijuana being legal now, uh, the freaking tax revenue is going to be insane, up to like nine figures, I believe. I believe 100, at least 100 million, 350 million in tax revenue. And what they're going to do with some of that money is they're going to allocate some of those funds back into black and brown communities, which I think is dope. At least 40% of that tax revenue is going to go into small black and brown communities. So I'm happy about
To
that
do
at least.
what? That's what I would like to know.
That's a good question too. I don't know. They didn't say what. They
Urban
just said
development.
Yeah, maybe urban development, maybe gentrification. I don't know.
See, that's how they get you. And say, yeah,
Mm,
you know, we'll put it back in community. We'll give you
yeah,
$10,000 to get out,
maybe.
find a new place.
Shoot, that's what happened around Barclays.
That's what I mean. We gave everybody a check. Like, how much you need? 20,000 just to get out. You know, 20,000 is not enough to find a place.
It's not at all. You can get by on getting an apartment, or you could get by just having a roommate for a while. But other than that, nah, homie, that ain't it. Especially here in New York,
Nah,
that ain't it. You better
fifteen
get in
dollars an hour is still not enough to live like a. You don't have to look over your shoulder life.
right. I think we talked about this last week. You need at least 70,000.
Yeah, to have a good time because
Yeah,
you definitely not cooking. That most New York City apartments kitchens are pretty small, so
hell yeah, bruh.
no room for cutting carrots.
And there's a median of like $2,000 for an apartment now.
Yeah, especially if you want a nice view, or
Mm,
you could just pay $200 less for a beautiful view for the next building right next to you.
word. But that's not how gentrifiers work, man. They want to live that Sex in the City friends life. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
gentrifiers have to like well, it'll be like one window that faces outside, but then the window on the left and the window on the right,
It's
uh,
right across the street from the projects.
or from just another tall building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could like those big tall skyscrapers in Manhattan. Most of them are like, oh, I paid $8 million for this apartment, like back in 2009. So all right, great. Now in
Mm,
2020, they build another building right next in front of them, so they lost their entire view. So
right.
it's like that 8 million just went down to like 5 because you lost the view.
Shoot, I'm looking at some high skyscraper apartments right now, right in front of me. And I think it's hilarious because just a couple blocks down, you're gonna be in Gowanus projects. So I just think it's all hilarious to me. And you still in the hood too, low key, because like downtown Brooklyn, like 10 years ago, it wasn't that safe to go around downtown Brooklyn like that.
That's why the property value went up because it's
Or
slightly safer. Now we walked around that.
slightly.
We
Hell yeah,
walked.
bro.
We weren't walking around too much, but I've been around that neighborhood like at 4 a.m. and stuff, 3 a.m.
Exactly. You've been around here for at least like what, 3 years now, 4 years. So
Yeah,
it gets a bit, you gotta be aware of certain things that happens.
nothing is really happening, but if you look like you get robbed, you will get robbed. That's just the way it works.
That's true. It's
Don't
it's
don't look
happened
too
to the
easy.
best of us. It's happened to the best of us. It's okay.
It's a luck
It's
thing.
okay. If someone asks you the time, just tell them the time. Don't look at your phone.
You don't need the time. You ain't going nowhere. It's joking.
Yo, speaking of time, I was cleaning out my room the other day and I found the Krusty the Crown Simpsons talking watch from Burger King.
Really? That's
Yeah,
dusty.
it is dusty, but you
Does
know
it
what's
work?
crazy? It still works. Like
Let's-
it still tells time.
I'm pretty sure those watches didn't have like a solar battery to it too.
It was 2002, man. Of course not.
For those plastic kids. That's crazy. That's still working. That's impossible.
It still
I had
works, but
Timex watches that kind of like would get like no sunlight or no because you got to shake it in order for it sometimes for it to work.
okay.
That's how they know it's like keep clicking. If you put a watch like under your bed for like 2 months, it would just stop working.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. So
Mhm.
the more you
But the
know.
crappy thing is, it doesn't talk anymore. That's the
Oh,
only downer.
I'm not surprised. The mic is just the speaker is just dead.
Yeah, speaker's dead, man. It's been like what, 17 years now. It's over.
You could probably like open it and like
Yeah,
just check the inside of it
yeah, I think I can.
in order to fix it.
So you want to get into song of the week, or do you want to talk about how Fox is getting sued?
Hey, let's get into the song of the week.
All
I
right,
want to know what you're playing for this subject matter.
song of the week, man. It goes to one of the kings, the cannabis kings of this past generation of the 2010s. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He goes by the name of Mr. Wiz Khalifa. And back then, Wiz Khalifa was popping in these streets, okay? He had Cushion
He
OJ.
still
Then he,
is.
nah, man. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Because you know why? I
Why?
remember I remember 10 years ago, I didn't forget about this bashing. Y'all remember when dudes used to grow out their hair and dye a freaking patch in their hair like Wiz
They
Khalifa?
still
Yeah.
do.
No, they do not.
They still do.
I do not see that as prevalent anymore. No way, they
Just
do not.
because it's not happening in New York City doesn't mean it hasn't stopped anywhere else. It still happens, bro.
That's not the look now,
Wiz
bro.
Khalifa is still hot in the streets. I'm letting you know this right now. As someone that was a huge Wiz Khalifa fan back in the day, and sometimes I hop back to see what's going on, he's still huge.
Wiz Khalifa is still a star. Don't get me wrong.
He's
But
still huge.
he's not like 50 Cent level anymore. He's not at the height of his career anymore.
He was never there.
No, but I'm saying in a fact where Wiz Khalifa was everywhere.
Dude.
Like Wiz Khalifa was everywhere. All the kids wanted to look like Wiz Khalifa. Everyone was a damn stoner like Wiz Khalifa. Everyone tried to freaking laugh like Wiz Khalifa. Everyone wanted Khalifa Kush. That's died down a bit.
Because the pandemic, bro. Anyways, let's get to your song. I promise, I will die on this hill saying Wiz Khalifa is still as popular as before.
I love Wiz Khalifa.
Even more popular than before.
And plus, I already said it, 420, I wanted the battle to be Wiz Khalifa versus Currency. But also back in 2011, Wiz Khalifa partnered up with the OG stoner, Mr. Snoop Dogg, and they made Mac and Devin Go to High School. Do you remember that album?
Yeah, I remember the movie.
Did you see the movie?
No, why would I want to see Snoop Dogg play a 16-year-old?
He wasn't 16. He played a 40-year-old in high school.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I really forgot the plot for that movie.
Yeah, basically Snoop Dogg was like this mega super TurboGrafx edition senior. And he was like 40 years old, still in high school, still a senior. And then he befriends Wiz Khalifa, who was this square. Then he takes him around the hood. He introduces him to weed. He takes him to a strip club. He bangs some strippers. And yeah, he stops being a square and he's a certified stoner and friends with Snoop Dogg. The movie was awful, by the way. It sucked. Like the shooting was terrible. It was definitely a B film. But I still enjoyed it, you know? I like how bad it was. It was so bad it's good. But one of my favorite tracks from that album was that good. So stay tuned. Thank y'all so much again. You're tuned into Black Seinfeld, show about nothing.